What's up, guys? Retro-format here, also retro-gifs. I've had a couple people ask me to do like a GIF tutorial. They asked me how I make my GIFs, so I figured, hey, I will do a tutorial to do that. Before I get started, though, please put this in full screen, because like my mouse is not going to be highlighted, so it may be kind of hard for it to follow. So yeah, if you do that, I will show you how I make awesome exploitation movie GIFs, but you can use them for any type of GIF. So the two programs that I use Photoshop CS5 and VirtualDub. If you don't have CS5, this may not help you too much aside from just seeing how I do it. VirtualDub is a free program that you can get from, if you Google virtualdub.com, it's very easy to get, and here it is. So you open up and you can have these side by side, but it's kind of pointless to do that. So I've got my video file opened up here. This is a clip from the Best of Sex and Violence, which is a VHS rip. I've got a couple things on there, or on my Tumblr from it. So I just sort of scanned through and just found like a really quick little clip that I can use. Also one that's sort of safe for work, because as you know, my GIFs are not typically safe for work. So once you find the clip that you want to bring your cursor down here. This is your this is the whole fucking movie. This is how many frames it is. So we're on around frame 8,000, or I'm sorry, 80,000. It's a lot of frames. So you've got your brackets down here, your start and your end. So you click here to start your GIF, and then I use my my cursor, or I'm sorry, not my cursor, my keys, because I find it to be way easier to control how far it goes. Because if I try to drag this, 30 frames, when it's just use the arrow keys, and so you're just going to move it forward, and that's going to be our GIF. Ooh, I almost went a little bit too far. So we can't have any nipple on YouTube. So let me come back a little bit just by using the left key. Boom. All right, so we'll do it there, and then we end it. So it's 109 frames. So it's a big big GIF, but we'll come across that problem when we get there. So you just go to File, and I'm going to save my segmented AVI. This is my sex and violence. These are all tiny little movie clips that you may recognize. A lot of them. Some of them you may not recognize. That's a great thumbnail. The dude with a foot planted on that guy's balls, which is hilarious. Alright, so we're in sex and violence, and let's see, how far have we gone up? So we've gone up to 10, so this will be, shit, I don't know, be 011. Have we done that one? Okay, so I haven't done that one yet. So then it saves it to that folder, and then we come over, see, we can minimize that, open up Photoshop, come over here, and then we're going to come down under File to import video frames to layers. So when you have your Photoshop open under, well, here, let me go and import this first before, so I can show you what I'm talking about. When I say it was 011, what the fuck, I don't see it. There it is. Okay. So because this has like 100 frames or whatever it was, Tumblr is very like size restrictive on their GIFs. Although I saw today, I think, that they upped them, but I'm not sure of the size, so I don't want to make a GIF that's not going to fit for the video. So we're going to limit it to every 3 frames, which you may think that's a lot, and I mean you can sort of tell, but it's not to the point where it's going to be like super jerky and all of a sudden this girl's robe is going to be off her shoulders or anything like that. So then we do OK, and it will import it in. Okay, so under Window, you want to have 2 things on. You want to have animation and layers on. These are like the 2 most important things for this. So down here, this is your animation window, and this has all of the frames. So there are 37 frames, which is still kind of a lot, but I think we can make do. And then over here, you have all your layers. And so layers and frames are different. This is, I'm not going to get into the difference between animation frames and layers because it would take forever, and I'm not even sure if I'd be totally right on it. So because this is a VHS rip, we've got this black line down the right hand side, so I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that, and this here, which I think will tell me what it is. I don't know, this is the cropping tool, so let's just go ahead real fast, pull it down all the way, get that out of there. Groovy. There's still a little bit of a sliver left, but I don't think it's gonna hurt that bad. And again, this is a VHS rip, so that's cool with me. Alright, so down here we want to highlight all of our animation frames. So you hold shift and then click on the last one. This is also on a Windows, if you couldn't tell. I don't know a fucking thing about the Mac stuff. I have an iPhone, that's about as far as it goes. Alright, so when you fuck with the frame counts, you need to change the animation delay so it runs smoothly. And this a lot of times can be a trial and error thing. You know, you want to make sure the GIF is going to move smoothly, that it's not going to move too fast, or that it's not going to move too slow. Like, when I first started doing this, I was like gifting some Resident Evil gameplay footage, and oh god, I look back at it and I'm like, what the fuck was I doing? I should not have put that on the internet. Okay, so a good one usually for every third frame is a 0.08. So we'll see if it works for that one or not. So once you have that, then we're going to add the watermark. So we just click on text. It will save like your current, or your, you know, the last that you did. So mine are always the same. I never have to fuck with these, but if I needed to change the font, I could. They're up here. But that's just how all of my watermarks are. So I click anywhere on there. And there we are. I also like how this font is all caps all the time, so I never have to worry about that. And then I can move it to where I want it to go. And notice that like I'm keeping my animation frames totally highlighted. If I don't keep them totally highlighted, this is not going to be the same through the GIF. And it's very difficult to go back and fix that. So once you've got it to sort of where you want to go, that's when you're going to move it in your layers. So then we move it all the way up to the top. So think of it as on top of this image. Whereas, see, when you come down here, these are just the frames of animation. Over here is where you get to the editing of all this stuff. Alright, so when it's there, you can change how opaque it's going to be. I typically put it around 25 or 20, depending on how light the GIF is. This is totally up to you. This is just my personal preference. I like my watermark to not be intrusive. Some people who I won't name, who I don't follow, but I see get reblogged a lot, like their watermark is like really big and like bright red. And to me that's annoying. It's way too intrusive to what you're trying to see in the GIF. So then we can come over here to file, so now we've got the GIF. This is how we want our GIF to look. So we go to the save and weapon devices, and this is where we put our finishing touches on it. So your GIF size is right here. So it's the 3.376 megs. Tumblr's before today was only 1 meg. So this is like way too big. I don't know how big they are. I've seen 2, but there's like ways that will still screw up. So we're just going to pretend that it's still 1. So there are a few ways that I can lower that file size, and the easiest way to do it is just make the actual image itself smaller. And now these are going to stay in ratio when you change them. I think there's a way to have them not be in the same ratio, but then your GIF would look stupid. So I don't think I have OCD, however I like all of my GIFs to be the same size, because on the Retro GIFs Tumblr, I just think it looks good. It's all images, there's no text. All of the GIFs are the same width. So all of the rows, or columns I should say, are the same, which I really like. I know it's a little bit nerdy of me, but it is what it is. So it's still a little big. I can go through and like sort of change the colors. Now I'm really lucky as far as, if we go to 64 it's gonna look like shit, yeah. I'm really lucky as far as like the quality of my GIFs. You know what, let's just try the 128. Because I like GIF the retro stuff, a lot of time like between 128 and 256, you can barely tell a difference. I can't really tell a difference. So we're going to see if the new Tumblr size of the 1.3 will work or not. Okay, so we've got the right size. You know what, fuck it. Since we're going to try something, let's go up the dither. It'll make it run a little bit smoother. And then we can preview it to make sure it's the right size. Looks like it's moving the correct speed. I don't get the feeling this is going to get too many notes, but that's not always, you know, just why we do that. So that's what I'm happy with right there. So I can come back here and go to save, and then we'll save it as 011. And there we go. So now your GIF is done. So now you would just go to the tumblrs, and then you would just go and upload it. So we'll see, you know, if you see it on there, you know it worked. If not, it didn't. So that is how I make my GIFs. Thanks.